I just played Side Effects, a game that's still in early prototype that aims to take a similar gameplay style to Buckshot Roulette. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Buckshot Roulette, it was this Russian roulette style game where it was you, a computer opponent, and you had this shotgun, randomized blank and live rounds, as well as a litany of different items that helped to spice up the gameplay, and you had to decide whether you were going to shoot the shotgun at yourself or your opponent. And trust me, there was a lot of pros and cons to any of your decisions, and the items helped to spice things up. It made Buckshot Roulette a ton of fun. In fact, I played it again in between gameplay sessions of Side Effects just to remind myself why I really did enjoy Buckshot Roulette. So, how did Side Effects compare? So, in terms of the gameplay, the way Side Effects works is you'll get a bottle, or in later rounds, bottles, of random pills, where all of the pills will be placebos except for one. Or two, it can change up, but the point is, you want to make sure that you're eating the placebos. Unlike Buckshot Roulette, you can only interact with something for yourself, which does raise the stakes a little bit. One of the things that I hated doing in Buckshot Roulette was turning the shotgun on myself if I didn't know that it was a blank shell. But in this, I've got no choice. I have to just hope that I picked the right pill. So right away, the game was far more anxiety-inducing. Not only that, but you're not just juggling lives like in Buckshot Roulette, but there is a tolerance meter. See, you're not completely out of the woods if you eat a placebo pill. Each type of pill takes a certain amount of tolerance away, and when you run out, you lose a life anyway, meaning that you can't just coast by on lucky guesses, you'll still end up losing lives if you're not careful. Also, if you lose a life in the game, your tolerance will fully restore, so even whether that be because you ran out of tolerance or you ended up taking, one of the negative pills, you gain all of your tolerance back. So it's a careful balance, really. Plus, also, if you or your opponent ends up taking, the bad pill that takes away a life, you know that that particular type of pill is safe, and usually the strategy you end up taking is, once you know which one is the bad pill, whether it be because you or an opponent took it, or because you got the drug test item, you end up just taking the rest of them and waiting for the AI to slip up. There's also heal pills as well if you last long enough. These end up restoring your life if you end up taking it, which admittedly I never got to, which we'll get into that. But yeah, there's little things here and there that, when the game gets developed more, could actually make for some very interesting gameplay. Now let's get into the items. There are several items in the game. There's this needle which when you stick that needle into you, it'll allow you to deal with the tolerance deficit that comes with eating a placebo pill, meaning that if you do pick successfully, you'll get no negative effects that turn. Of course, if you end up picking one of the bad pills, then you've wasted the item, so it's a risk that can be doubly painful if you get it wrong. There's the replicator, which is able to just take an opponent's item, it doesn't take the item away, but it allows you to get a copy of that item. There's the sugar pill, which allows you to skip your turn, which, depending on the situation, this can be a great stalling tactic to see if the AI will slip up, or if you know which one is the bad pill and you're running out of options, can be a good way to try to avoid almost certain doom. There's also the drug test, as mentioned before, which will allow you to definitively say whether a pill is good or bad. If the pill's good, you just take it straight away, and if it's bad, you'll leave it alone and hope that the AI grabs it themselves without realizing. It's also actually kind of convenient because, as far as I can tell, you'll be able to keep track of the pills that your opponent drug tests. So if they place a pill on the ground and don't pick it back up, you can reasonably guess that the drug is a bad one and avoid it as well. So there is a little bit of strategy there. And I wish there were more items. For instance, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be cool to have, say, a contraband one where you actually sneak in one of those death pills? That could be kind of cool. I don't know if it would work necessarily, but I think that would be a fun little addition, raise the stakes and make it more likely that your opponent picks up one of them, whether it be one of the ones that this company brought in or one that you brought in. I think it would help raise the stakes a little bit, because there isn't a whole lot of interaction you can do with your opponents. Quite simply, you just take turns until one of you takes the bad pill, and then you try to strategize from there. Ultimately, I think that is one big thing against it, is that I think the amount of interactions you can have are severely limited by this concept. In Buckshot Roulette, while I was playing, I could create these little schemes here and there where I could handcuff my opponent, take a cigarette to restore some of my health, grab the magnifying glass to have a look at what pill it was, shoot the shotgun at myself to, save a turn. Then I could just shoot the shotgun twice at my opponent to see if they end up, getting shot twice. Or hell, I might even be able to saw the end off to do double the damage, doing a potential free damage whilst restoring one of my health. Whereas in side effects, you can replicate an item, and do a drug test if a pill is good or bad. If it's bad, maybe take a sugar pill afterwards and then wait to see if your opponent will grab it. It's not that, it's just there's less interesting utilization of the items, in my opinion. But of course that is because the game is in a prototype. I've got criticisms, of course, but I do want to stress that every criticism I have does have the asterisk that this is a prototype, and it's undoubtedly going to get updates to address some of my criticisms. Another thing that absolutely I think needs to be updated is the AI. In Buckshot Roulette, the AI feels like it's just as, if not smarter than you, and can absolutely turn things around. And I know that is somewhat limited because of the fact that you can't directly interact with your opponent. There were times that I felt the AI just really made some boneheaded decisions, like the replicator, for instance. Maybe the AI shouldn't use the replicator when the only thing you have is a replicator, but time and time again, every single turn, the AI would use the replicator to replicate my replicator, meaning that it was completely wasted time. And yeah, sure, it's only a few seconds, but that does add up, and while amusing, I could see for some people that getting a little annoying, and I think it would make the game more interesting if the AI was able to make some sort of smart decision that really undercut you. And apart from one time where I was backed into a corner where I had to take a bad pill, I don't think there's really many opportunities for the AI to do that, if it can. Right now, when your opponent player or yourself fully runs out of life, the game ends. My second gameplay session only lasted 5 minutes, in fact. I think it would be interesting to see the ways that side effects could try to develop on its core concept. Like I said, right now I just don't think it's on Buckshot Roulette's level, given that Buckshot Roulette has all these crazy things that can happen, but I do think that there is a lot of potential here for side effects to be its fun little experience. I mean, despite my criticisms, I did have fun playing it, and I kind of felt myself yearning for more, so I have no doubt in my mind that I'll probably be reviewing this again when the game has had some notable updates, but I wanted to get the word out now so that you can give the developer some support. The game is free to download. itch.io has this thing where with free games you can donate money if you want to, but you can grab it absolutely free, and I heartily recommend checking it out. It's a short experience that I think does have some good potential in it, and I wish the developer the best of luck in updating the game.